here we are with Combat Commander. I decided I want to play at least one more. I just didn't feel like that last scenario. It was a little scenario, not a lot going on. I want to be able to try to step back and just play more. Now, it's a Friday night. I wasn't able to sleep. It's not night yet, but it's probably around 4:30 at this point. Got all foggy again. And yeah, in a couple hours, I'm out the door. I need to play my little computer game for a little bit. But I won't actually be starting this, but I did the setup. This is Hedgerows and Hand Grenades using map 2, which strangely enough isn't on the back of map 1. It would be kind of nice. Like, I had to hunt, I don't know, it was the next one down in my pile, but that wasn't clear because I had my pile upside down, as it turned out. So this one's going to be a bocage battle. And we have 1944. I have difficulty telling the American and Germans apart color-wise, which is kind of a problem because actually some of the American units are in the German counter tray. Whatever. I don't know if I could get a third counter tray in here when it's all put away. Or if I want to. Like, I almost always just bag my units, but my feeling was always, oh, I want to play this. You know, I would play it soon. Yeah, it's been, Jesus. I mean, I don't know how long ago I bought this, but, you know, I'm thinking, yeah, if it was at Concept World that I played Pacific Commander, it had to be after that. So it can't be around 2011. It has to be more like 13 or so. But yeah, it's been over a decade that this has been kicking around, which isn't shocking. I mean, I've got stuff that is on my short list that I haven't gotten to. So, and this kind of was, certainly at certain points. What we're looking at here, the victory point marker, so this is one where the axis starts as the defenders, but they've got green quality troops, which I think only really matters with breakdown units. Their breakdown units are going to be crappy, which is kind of funny because there's like, the U.S. has line troops, but they have elite line troops, whatever that means. If they do breakdown, they just end up as line. Let's see what else we got here. The time track, sudden deaths at 8. Troop quality, we talked about that. The orders, the Americans have less pieces on the board, so they only get 3 orders. The Germans have 4, but their troops are kind of crappy. They're conscripts and Volksgrenadiers. This guy over here is an artillery spotter, because the Americans have a radio for, what, 105 millimeter? Yeah. Whatever that ends up doing. Looks like it has a 10 firepower. Initial objective chits. So the open one is a particular one, which is all 5 of the objective hexes are worth 2 points each, which is why there's 10 German victory points at the beginning of the game. But the 2 players have their own objectives. I'll let you know what they are. I pulled the US one first because they set up first, didn't look at the German one. The US is interested in this building. It's worth 3 points to them. The Germans are interested in this building. It's only worth 2 points to them. Somebody pointed out to me, and yeah, I was aware of this, but I just want to clarify. The objective hex is your secret objective. That's worth something to both players. It's just you happen to know how important it is, which makes sense. Otherwise, it would be a huge point swing to be able to get an objective hex that the other guy can't score. Like, it would be a big edge if you got a big point objective hex. Of course, in the last scenario, casualties determined it. In the initial setup, the Germans own all the objectives at the beginning of the game. Actually, they might not, because this guy could have been placed here or back here if I had so desired. I don't particularly want the objectives for that. I've got to pull out the little flags. I want to get German US flags instead of German Russian flag ones. Our surrender numbers are out there. Are they right? Yeah. The US needs 9 surrenders. They have less pieces total. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whereas the Germans with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces as well have a surrender at 8. I actually thought the US had less pieces. Looks like they have the same amount. Which is funny because the Germans have more commands. Do they have more officers? Yeah, they have an extra officer. They have 4, an extra NCO, really, because both only have 1 lieutenant. The initial setup, we haven't seen this before, but this is the Allied side of the board. They're allowed to go up to 3 hexes in. Then the Germans are allowed to go 12 hexes in from here. Remember, they're defending the territory. They don't have any real defensive terrain, but that means those cards that allow you to defend, that work for the defender only, those are going to help. Like I said, the U.S. has the option to put this lieutenant as a forward observer instead of as command. My 2 NCOs look like they can command their troops just fine. In addition to machine guns and whatnot, the U.S. has a mortar, which is an indirect fire weapon, which kind of causes some, it's going to cause me to do different kinds of activities. That can help clear fortifications. I don't think it can blow up buildings. The bocage, all the hedgerows here. Hedgerows normally are not streams. They're normally +1 movement, +1 cover if the shot crosses the hex side as it enters the target hex. And LOS has no effect, but there's a couple of stars. LOS is clear if the fence hedge wall is one of the 6 hex sides of the fire or target's hex. So you can't fire through them, but I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. I hope. But in this scenario, the movement and cover are increased to 2 each for the bocage. The Allied player is going to go first. We're going to not play right away. But it should be kind of interesting. More of a, one side is defending, so the other side has to fight. Again, we've all got squads of 4 men, so not really a lot of opportunity for stacking. It feels like it's kind of standard in the game. Kind of want like 7 men in a hex, right? I don't know. They're more likely to get shot that way. I'm not sure how I managed it, but when I played the Fat Lipke scenario, I got a major rule wrong, which is fire groups. I summed all the firepower ratings, including all modifiers, etc. That is not how they're supposed to work. They're supposed to be the firepower of 1 firing piece and then the number of other firing pieces added in. I'm glad somebody caught that because I would have kept playing that way. And that's actually, the Fat Lipke went very, very quickly, according to people. And it's because the Russians were able to use their massive numerical advantage to just unleash unholy hell and, destroy German units right away. I still had fun, but yeah, the game went a a little too quickly, etc. I think I probably liked it better because of how it went. I like dramatic situations, but it definitely, the numerical advantage of the Russians seemed insurmountable with the fire groups being that potent. We'll do this one with the correct rules, I hope. I'm really worried that I'll have enjoyed what I did in the Fat Lipke, the mistake that I made there, just because of the tremendous firepower, just busting units apart. But obviously that's not accurate. I wish I had kind of caught and said, wow, this really kind of doesn't make sense, that amount of converging fire just wiping units out left and right. But I don't really know what a broken unit means, right? That kind of fire could easily not kill everybody, but disintegrate, the unit. So, I mean, eventually the fire could kill someone, kill everyone. Anyway, for here, we have the U.S. who has 6 cards. The Germans only have 4 because they're on defense. I've got the Absolute Bone card. A command confusion across two things. There's no way that can be useful to me. I have a couple of fire cards which are of interest. I'm not really as close as I'd like to be to open fire, but I don't know how much it matters. I'm in range. Those hedgerows block line of sight, though, which means I can't fire. I don't have any kind of movement card. I have a couple of routes. I might want to throw everything away and not go first, except I'm sitting with this I have to remember to use this time. Except I have this artillery request, which I feel is particularly advantageous to me. So I think that's pretty much the only thing we're going to do. So how do we do this? Well, we look for artillery request. There we go. I'm going to be doing a fire for effect because my radio is working. So first I have to spot. Now, I have this little spotting thing. Ideally, I think this is the hex I want to hit. That could hit all of those if I get it right. I don't want smoke. Although you could make some arguments that advancing with the smoke would put me in a better position. But I don't have the advance. I don't know. I don't have the advance, but you know what? I have the route cards, which I could play on the enemy. I can only play one, I think, on an enemy. I can't activate my enemy twice any more than he could activate himself twice, is my guess. So I think I do want to actually hit. Once the SR is placed, make a normal targeting roll. 0.22.3, using the range between them. This roll is modified by hindrances. Okay. The fuck is a targeting roll? Multiplying the 2 dice together, it's got to be greater than the range to hit the target. Okay. So, I have this thing, but I don't have sighting. I still need to be able to see the enemy to fire that, I believe. Okay. Now,
Yeah, it has to be both within LOS. At least one of the activated units or weapons must be within LOS. This is a normal fire event. Okay. So what do I do? Once the range is determined, I must make a die roll. Well, we'll do that. The range is 2. I roll a 14. That's higher than a 2, but I get an event. The event is a field promotion. If not already in play, you can place Private Adamson into a hex containing a broken American unit. I don't have a broken American unit, so I can't do that. He's promoted to private now. All right, so we succeeded in the targeting roll. I guess now we flip back over here and look to see what we're doing. I guess it's secure to hit. I don't see anything that impacts this. There's a hindrance to these things, isn't there? There's cover. There's no line of sight. Yeah, there's no actual hindrance. Kind of a weird situation. I kind of feel like the hedgerow should be hindering both sides in view. But anyway, what am I doing here? If the targeting roll occurs as a hit, I reveal the top card of the fate deck and ignore everything but the 2 dice. Using the hex compass, it'll give me a hex one way, a hex the other way. All right, so the first one sends me in direction 1, which is up. So we move the targeting up. We move the targeting up again. Okay. Now we have to deal with the impact. It's the center hex of the activated radio's impact area. I determine the order in which these are attacked. If this was not smoke, I use the artillery impact. Radio can't jam. It lists a fortification vulnerability. All right. We're using a 10 power radio. So fortification vulnerability is on a 10. My understanding is I have to roll that number exactly. Yeah. To damage the fortifications. But otherwise, what? It's a fire attack roll, and it'll be the singular attack. Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. Oh, we're not going to hit any fortifications here. Let's do this one first. We've got a base of 10, I guess. He got any cover? That's a field. Does not provide any cover. That makes sense. 13. Defense of 6. 13 with, I think, an event. But again, like always, I have to go look up. What did this jam? I don't know what the jam came off of. I don't know. I can't pay attention to those. It's really hard. It's always, like, I remember having difficulty with this all the time. I don't know how much more they can make them jump out. You know, it's just like my mind is focused on the numbers and not on looking for that. And my training does not, is not sufficient. So we look up event, because that's what we have to do in this game every time, is we have to look things up. That's E42, I guess, but it might be 1.7. And again, I'm showing you, I mean, even though I've played a little bit before, I can't remember this. Okay. Who got the event? He drew the event, so we draw it. Prisoners of war, eliminate one broken German unit adjacent to an enemy unit. Not a problem. Did we live? I don't remember what my number is anymore. Right? I think it's a 13. And we got a Really? I don't know. Fuck, I can't remember my order of things. I didn't put my little attack marker down, did I? So, let's see. I did the artillery request. That generated... I don't know what it generated because I'm seeing the wrong thing here. I did not do... That's my artillery request. This is my artillery request. That generated this, which created an event. We checked the event. This was the direction. This was the fire. So 13 is what we're at as we unwind our entire turn to see what happened. And again, you know, what's supposed to be a fast-paced moving game, it doesn't work out that way if you have to work to understand what the hell location you're in and where you are. Obviously, once you get very used to it, it's going to flow smoothly, but it's not right now. So 13, we got this, which was 13. I think that gets us a suppressed marker. Damned if I know, but that's what I recall, because it doesn't break him. So I look for a suppressed marker. Now, I'm just making sure. Each hex is attacked on its own, yeah. So, after completing this one, nothing happened to the commander. I go to this one, I have a 19 total. We'll take a quick look at his. 6 and 4 is 10, he breaks. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta throw these up here. Okay, nothing he wanted to play. Him breaking, I think, doesn't imply anything I want to do. I can't even do the light wounds against him. I don't have that capability. All right, where are we? We just broke that unit. Now we'll hit the final unit. Might as well just stay on camera because that puts us to a 16. And this guy is a 6. He's in the woods. He gets cover. But there's a +2 added to the attack total. Essentially, to me, that means the cover is just ignored, right? I mean, why else? So I can't see why it's worded the way it is particularly. 6 and 9 is 15. That's a hit. That is going to route this as well, or break it as well. The artillery request is gone. That was his activation. I don't really have much else I can do except for a route, which is going to generate... Oh, fuck. This guy increased these morale. I think that does this instead. Because he would have... Oh, he's not close enough. Okay. But the suppression wouldn't have happened because I have a leadership bonus on the leader. I would have tried to hit the leader first, thinking about that, but anyway. Doesn't matter. The route is played. Now I make a check on, I guess, him. He's got a 5. I get a 7. He's going to route 2 spaces. And him. Just making sure I haven't fucked something up already. He's got a 5. He succeeds in getting that 5. Oh, wait. Only 1 space. Because, again, the leadership counts. But he does get his suppression that I would have rolled. And I'm fatigued. I'm fatigued by all these lookups and whatnot. I get another card. I'll throw them like this. I'll move the ship here And yeah, trying to play this system when you're not like intimately familiar with how it all runs and works out. The lookups you have to make, it's taxing. It's really taxing. And I don't find, like, the rules didn't give me something that helps me grasp the game as a whole in the way that I'd like to. Some of that may be just the topic. It's fucking boring to me, you know, which is why I think I kind of like the firepower just wiping out the Germans last time. Because at least it was kind of exciting and over, you know. Anyway, I'm done for a while. Before I'm done, one of the big things is just, you know, when I was having someone run the game for me, it was fun. When I have to run it myself, it's just not, you know. Now, he played it a lot. He used to play it with his grandson or whatever pretty regularly. I think it was kind of their go-to thing. And he would run it for his grandson, so he got very, very used to it. For me, you know, without being very used to it in that sort of sense, without it being a go-to game the way Dominion or Magic was for me, I just honestly don't think I'll ever be able to get the enjoyment out of it. You know, you're either addicted or you're not. And I mean, the same thing's true with SFB, right? You know, although in a different sort of way. There's just so many rules and everything. But this, there's not that much, but everything implies a lookup and go follow the procedure, and so many places to fuck up because you didn't look at the dice right or something. Inherently knowing all that is why I stayed away from doing these. Much as they had a good rating on them, you know, a good thumbs up on them for my request list, much as I remembered having fun, I kind of knew that it would just be hell trying to play it by myself, or trying to run the game with my wife even. The German orders, I'm not happy at all. I have a couple of move orders I don't really want to move. I have a command confusion that's useless, and a route that is not terribly useful. So we're just gonna draw ourselves another 4-card hand. Still unable to draw any kind of movement cards. I have a lot of fire cards, can't use them. I do have 2 routes still left. I could drop one after the other, conceivably. And I have another artillery request. So we will do the same damn thing and drop another bomb here. I'm not going to go into all the details. If I make mistakes, I make mistakes, whatever. But we'll go on with it. The artillery's coming at my spotter. Why you don't want to get too close? Funny, I draw the attack for myself, of course, 16, and now I got to draw the defense for myself as well, and I'm fine. Well, not exactly the result I wanted, but hey, there's a risk. There's a risk. All right. That leaves me with very little I can do. I can drop those routes. See what that does. It at least gets me more cards out. It's the same as last time. I can only drop one route on the enemy. Realized I have this leader in play too. There's just too much going on. And this one. So this guy's actually like an 8 morale. Yeah, let me draw him. I think that gets him suppressed. I'm leaving things as they are. I gotta find another suppressed. This one might be a veteran. Yeah, it's a veteran. Gotta dig around to look for these counters. There. Again, on the back of the scenario generating counters, I really should have them sorted or something, I guess. Be careful moving the ship, unfortunately. So what do we got now? Action fire. We gotta recover. That sounds pretty good to me. That I'll be playing on myself. I could play some fires. I actually have view of that damn spotter. It might be worth shooting him. let's do our fire groups right this time, I guess. I can commit these guys and this guy. This guy's not got a good line of sight on firing here. This can all be up to a group, if I so desire. Strangely, so how does a fire group work? It would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I could get up to 16 on him, which is pretty likely to hit him. Now I peek at his other side and it becomes even harder to fuck with, but I feel like this is what I want to do. Because 16's, you know, I could get a lesser attack, but then I don't get shit at all. So let's take a look. 16 and 7 is 23. But I've got an event. Deploy. You may remove a German squad from the map and replace it with 2 matching teams. That might be useful. I can get more people into a hex by doing that. What's particularly nice is that a team can still fire this weapon, so I could get the majority of my firepower there. So I'm going to do that, even though I'm replacing it with crappy green teams. What am I trading in? I'm trading in a Volks Grenadier for that. I think I'll turn these conscripts into it instead. That way I'll have something to do with move orders if I get them. Do these conscripts instead. They're closer. Slight problem to doing this, which is that these guys can die and fill in my surrender spots, I guess. Oh, fuck. I can't remember what I'm doing. I can't use that. Ambush, light wounds. Okay. I don't have anything that helps. So now I have my defense, which is a 9 plus cover. Oh, did we forget our hindrance? Hindrance for the hedgerow was 2. Wait, that's cover. There is no hindrance. Okay, so that's 2, and I think the orchard is 1. I don't add them, do I? No, it's best cover. So I've got 9, 10, 11. I think I may have been forgetting cover. No, because the artillery round hit somewhere stupid. I get a 15, which is less than that huge attack. Now, I have a light wounds, which I can't use. So I'm flipped. But now I get to throw this guy in. I don't know if he's even worth it. He's got a 5 fire. He's got like no chance of killing that. But I'm also not doing anything else. So he's got 5. I get a 9. There's basically no chance of that failing. I don't have a route or anything. I get a couple of cards. I move the boat, and I've played more than I can handle. Again, it's just it's hard to want to keep going. You know, it's just not the kind of game that I want to play solo. Is what it comes down to. But I also believe that like me trying to run this would be so, you know, so clumsy and disjointed and so painful that I wouldn't be having much fun doing that either. The only way that I think I could have fun is playing it with somebody who's already really engaged in it and knows knows it up and down. It's okay for me to look things up and whatever, but someone who can, be checking me and making sure I'm doing things right, which is kind of how it was at that con at the end. Once I sort of kind of got used to things and, didn't have to show his grandson cards and say, is this how this works, stuff like that. In a bit of trouble. I still don't have any moves. Importantly, I don't have a rally operation, which is what I need to get him back into play. The leader here, I don't know if he has a line of sight. It looks like I cut this if I try to look there. I don't think I have a line of sight anywhere from him. This guy obviously does not have a line of sight into anywhere. So I'm kind of left with, I have nothing I can do. I can't even play the route anymore. There's no value to it. I guess I just throw well, I can hold some cards because I only get a 5-card draw. I'll keep the order, the artillery request. A hell of a lot for the Germans to do here either. Don't need the recover. I could do another fire, and I think that's for the best because I might get a kill out of it. The U.S. was unable to do anything about that, so I think that's what we go for. And I can use the bore sighting to improve my firepower capability. This is, I think, only for the squad or team firing, not the weapon. So I don't think I can use this. I can look it up. I can use that too, but I'm going to use that for the follow-up fire if I need one. Yeah. So again, this starts out with an 8, 9, 10, 11. What's going on here? Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, right? For the leaders. 12, 13, 14, 15, I guess, as my main fire. I need this, actually. Yeah, let's go to 17, right? Because we're working against his defense here. Let's just go all out on this. 17 and 11 gets me up to 28. And the US, oh, gotta check, make sure my dice. He's at 10. I don't think he can succeed. But he still has to draw. And that's a kill. And that will be worth, I believe, 2 victory points for the Germans. Don't have any fire here. So we get our cards. And the ship moves back there. I keep coming up here and playing a little bit because I got nothing I want to do more than this. Maybe if I take my book downstairs, there's something I'll play less. But, I'm just being driven up with the, what do I want to do, It's Sunday. Sundays are shitty. Tomorrow I gotta go shopping. But I really ought to be reading rules to something else. I haven't even decided what yet. And start figuring out another game. Because I'm just, I'm going to play these until I get threw the rules to something. But I'm really not enjoying this, and I don't think I will. Now, I still have radio, right? Guy who was doing spotting, I guess there are radios with other commanders as well. It's just he was sent out on that. Him being dead doesn't matter. I look at the U.S. things. Yeah, not able to do these anymore. Artillery denied doesn't help me. Dig in, yeah, I might get lucky. But I have an advance. But more importantly, I have a move, which I think I'm going to allocate to my 2 leaders. They have all their forces in command. And we'll figure out where they go. But the problem is, I have to make a quick check. The Germans do not have any firing capability. I've already kind of decided how I'm going to advance my U.S. forces. But they're going to try to get as close as they can. And with no fire cards, we're kind of fucked. This is the result. A big rush forward. We'll get a new card. None of this does anything. It didn't generate anything. Let me actually see. Maybe I have an action. I could have dropped a smoke grenade somewhere. That might be of some value to me. Do I have boxed movement? I have boxed movement, not on him. Why is he just a team? Weird. Guess weapons are just teams, huh? Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So he does not have boxed movement. He has boxed movement. I could drop some smoke in there. Why don't we do that? Get rid of more cards, right? It's not a lot of smoke. Oh, that was this. None of the rest of this helps. We get a second card because we threw 2. And we'll be over here. I think I know what I'm going to look at. Guess we're back again in the German hands, and I don't see shit we can do. So we toss. Let's move my boat. When I can remember. All right, for the U.S., we have an advance. That could get us into melees, but it could also get us shot all to hell. An artillery request, another artillery request. The actions don't help on either of those. We have a fire, so we could unleash a massive amount of fire, which probably is actually our best move. Because we could... Well, wait. Maybe fucking shit up again. And just... When you do an order... Like I moved everyone forward on one order. Is that legitimate? I don't remember. No. God, I can't keep up with this shit. Yeah. Obviously it's not legitimate because I couldn't move my troops all forward in the Russian scenario. So it's only within the leadership range that I could have moved, which means these guys all, let's, I don't even know what to do. Pull these guys back, maybe. And this guy was back here. That's important, but he could have moved. Fuck, I don't know. I think I could have moved someone there. I don't know. Again, I had like a 2-hex radius off this guy. Sorry, off this guy. So, right, what do I fucking do then? The artillery request, if I do that, I'm risking my own forces that are getting close. It doesn't seem like a great idea because I can't put it back here. So I guess we're going to do a fire action. I'll just fudge around with what I can. What does this do for them? I do have a fire that I can respond with, which I can do first. And that, if I give him the order, the building blocks line of sight, so it kind of doesn't matter. I can give him the order. Is there anything else? It's not an order, it's an action. But let's unleash as much as we can here. I got my 2 heavy machine guns to unload, at least. Right then. And I had decided to fire into this hex with these guys and this hex with those. This fire generated a hit chance, which I'll figure out. But this fire, but the sniper came up from my die roll, which ended up breaking this unit. So now I've got shot at a broken unit and more chance of doing some damage. And also a chance of like totally fucking his fire capability on this advance or whatever, on this order. I do not like this solo at all. And again, I don't think I'd like it opposed unless it was someone else who knew the rules. Like, I don't think I'd want to play this like trying to teach it. It just, I'm looking too much shit up constantly, you know? There's too many different pathways from each card. Like, there's too many different cards with too many different fucking pathways. It's just, and the subject matter is so uninteresting to me. Okay, so the fire into here, I managed to get a bigger defense with the cover and whatnot with this big 12, but I get a time action, which means now I look up time and figure out how that all works. And we did that over in the Fat Lipke. It's just how all of this game is I'm constantly looking things up and following some procedure to see how it actually works. It's, I don't know. And half the time probably getting it wrong. Swung into this whole procedural thing. I reshuffled the deck. I gave a victory point to the defender. I get to remove a smoke marker. Great. You know, no reinforcements come in. And now we look to see if anybody has any dig-ins they want to play. And they probably do. For example, this artillery denied, I definitely do not want to do. I had this at the time, but, you know, play a wire and a hex in which a unit just moved or advanced. I don't think I had that then, so that's of some importance because it would tie them down. So where am I? I don't know anymore. I rolled the defense roll for somebody. Fuck. I think for the second unit. It's also so easy to get lost on everything. But now they're in a foxhole. That defense, this could have actually saved them because their defense doesn't come up until the roll that they made, which is now buried in the deck somewhere, right? Doesn't even come up. Now, they had enough to survive, but I could have been dug in and avoided it, I guess. And now I get to shoot back. Now this is an order action fire. Which we have to go look at. It's an order fire. And the big question is, am I allowed to shoot? And I think I'm allowed to shoot with broken units, which these are. And I've already defined who it was who had the order. It's him. And a bunch of these are coming into play. These guys are able to fire. I can actually create a hell of a fire group. This guy's not able to, but this guy is. Or a couple of different fire groups. I do have a machine gun here. We'll see what happens, and then I'll pay attention to these other cards. And you know, honestly, even playing opposed, I would be kind of annoyed with the amount of looking at cards that I'm having to do. Although I did enjoy it when I remember playing it and thought it was a clever system and everything. I don't mind that much interactivity, etc. when I'm playing some, like, you know, I'm thinking about like Magic the Gathering. But to be honest, with what I have in my decks in Magic the Gathering, I'm usually pretty familiar with why I constructed it and how it is. If it's a newer deck for me, maybe I missed some opportunities or whatnot. But I'm like constantly trying to puzzle out because there's so many different actions, so many different effects on each card, right? Sure, there's only there's only one thing I have to pay attention to at any one time, but I got to look at all my cards, and none of it's like front of mind because there's just so much busy information on there that I'm finding it frustrating. But it's certainly worse trying to play both sides. I would never play Magic the Gathering, you know, solo. I've tried. And that's kind of how this is feeling, where I'm, you know, buzzing through trying to do way too much. Dominion solo, it just didn't work, you know. It's just not what, and at least that wasn't one that had a lot of reactive stuff happening. Fire group got relatively lucky in terms of some horrible defensive rolls, and I think I suppressed both of them. Not positive, might be fucking something up. Stopped caring. On this next one, I've got a 20 attack against this, which sounds kind of good, but I pulled an event. Yippee. Elan, increase your surrender level by 1. Okay. Yay. You could actually get knocked to a point where you can't surrender anymore, but that's fine. And now we do, I guess, the defense for this. Now I've got him in range. He's suppressed. I don't know if that affects his leadership. Oh, actually, if it doesn't affect his leadership, he's not suppressed. Never mind. So I've got a 10, something like a 13. I need a 7. I get an 8. I'm fine. I check to make sure there's not a little red thing there. And that's an action for all of these, basically. Oh, wait, I forgot to throw this guy in. Oops. Oopsie. I don't know. And this is just a little team, right? No. Somewhere I got a weapons team. Guess it's up here. I don't give a shit. He doesn't have a vision. I want to recover. Fire I did with the Germans. It must have been this card that did it, because I didn't expend a card, so that must have happened. And now I can advance. That'll be with these units. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of cards, and we feel like we kind of have to. Now, the question is, while I'm advancing, fucking crap. While I'm advancing, and no, I can't move him. I'm giving the order, I guess, to him. I don't know. While I'm advancing, as I keep repeating the word, I kind of want to do the hidden wire. I don't know what it does, but this is my only opportunity to do it. I know it stops things from moving. Is it under H or is it under W? It looks like it's under H. So I look for event, hidden name, hidden wire. May be played by the snare defender just after one or more units move or advance into a hex. The hex cannot be water trained. Place a wire. Okay, now I got to go look up wire. You can see how much fun this is. A wire sharing a hex with one or more units affects those units by reducing their firepower, range, and morale by 1 each. Seems worth it. I'm going to drop it on there, I guess. I don't know. I got to throw the card away. I forgot to do that. Not feeling a lot of joy in continuing. The first time that I played a game that I enjoyed playing opposed once or whatever, maybe really enjoyed. I'm thinking here of Rail Baron. That was sort of my primary influence of this. And then playing it solo, I found it annoying and never was able to enjoy it again opposed particularly much. And I fear that I've got that same kind of thing here where I'm seeing the frustration I'm getting in playing it solo. The only reason, like, it hooked me and excited me playing opposed, but I don't think that magic of that first play is ever going to happen again. Even if I had the opportunity, like, to play it with another person who, if they were kind of running it, I'd feel like I'm just getting battered around, which I felt that first time. I'm just getting battered around by these cards and whatever and have no idea what's going on. And I kind of feel like that's how I would feel no matter what if I played this, that I can't really plan ahead or I can't even capture the rules in my head because they're just a sequence of these little procedural things I've got to do. They're very good sequences when I read them through completely, but just nothing forms in my head and I'm not able to really grasp the whole thing. Now with Magic, I started out with a very, very simple game. The original Magic the Gathering was not that complicated. There were some weird cards, but most of them were pretty explanatory. If I picked it up nowadays, and I'm kind of feeling this way when I look at the cards that I bought that, are not the ones from like pre-2000, I'm like, fuck, there's just so much on these. I got no idea what all this shit does. It's become too complicated for me to grasp. And I kind of feel like this is jumping right in there at a level at which, like, I just don't know what my cards are doing. What I can expect from them or anything. German turn, I think I'm just going to do a recover, try to get this. I'm going to get most of my cards back, what little I have. But we do have to look here because there's still some possibility to do some of these things conceivably in response. I do have a fire, so I could do another fire action on him before that recover takes effect, I guess, which seems like a useful thing. These artillery requests are useless. I'm in too close a quarters to risk them. I mean, the chance that it hits me is just so high. I guess I can improve things by going for this unit, but I don't have a line of sight on that from the commander. However, what I do have is the fire. I could throw the spray fire in. That will only help. or only work with this if only this fires. Then I could hit both hexes. Am I getting enough firepower? I don't think so. I'm only getting a 6 firepower. That's garbage, so I guess I won't use that. Problem, that recover will still be in existence when this is played. So if I do hit something, I'm not going to get to kill it. And, I mean, unless I can kill it, it's not going to generate that. But I'd like to take my fire off. I've got like a 19 firepower if I throw everything in. If I don't throw everything in, I could split the fire up and do 2 different shots at this, I guess. I think. I don't know. Feels like I should be able to. Certainly how I played it before, but maybe there's some restriction. Again, you know, it's look everything up again and again. Try to find what happens. I don't see anything that prevents me from firing 2 sets into the same hex, but it kind of feels like there was, maybe. I don't know. Oh well. We'll do what we can. Okay, so we decided to split the fire into a couple of groups into there. And the first one, I end up with a total of 20, but an event, I draw the event, and I get reinforcements. Roll on the American support table. That's got to be over here somewhere. This damn thing. This is an order of battle. This is support table. So I roll on that. I don't know what that means. But I get an 11. An 11 gives me some numbers. Select one unit or a radio and place it along your map edge. We're going to have to look this up, like everything. Make a roll. We made a roll. From the column, select one item at no cost that's available in the scenarios. Year, it's 1944. I don't know if things that, no, because we got like 43 to 45 here. Yeah, so 43 is not available, so I could get this Lieutenant Esperanza, or an engineer with a satchel charge. That sounds potentially very effective. I don't know how I use a satchel charge. Or an elite squad. Or a radio. I don't need a radio, although this would be a 75 millimeter radio, so maybe I could have both, but I don't want both. That's a weaker gun. So what do? I don't know. Let's go with the engineer and the satchel charge. That sounds most interesting. He's somewhere along that map edge. I don't know if I have to put him in a specific space. That's not the space I want to put him. I probably want to put him where that card is. But here's the thing. He's going to be hard to bring on the board and everything. He's additional casualties I might take, all kind of stuff like that. Why am I picking this? Because I got to deal with defensive positions. I figure blowing up buildings sounds good, but I got no idea. I just don't want to deal too much with trying to figure shit out, to tell you the truth. And that's, you know, I looked up one thing, rolled, looked up more stuff. It's just no fun. You know? So let's just try to pick what we can pick and see what we can do best. But this is not how you're supposed to play the game. You're supposed to play it knowing, you know, able to make reasonable and rational decisions. And I don't feel capable of doing that because I'm just not willing to look every fucking thing up whenever it comes up. I managed to kill the German unit here by getting 2 hits on it. That's great. That was my action. We're back here with his recover, which was meant to fix the suppressed. I notice I don't have the stack of, I thought I had pulled these out already, of control markers for the objectives. It's fine, the Germans control them all still, but I do have to bother with pulling those out. Whose turn are we on? We're on the German turn. They recover. I believe this is automatic. They don't have to make a roll, but I'm not positive. So we'll go look that up, because that's what the game's about, looking up lots of stuff until you memorize everything eventually. And that's never going to happen, because I'm never going to play it that much. So removes all suppressed markers from friendly units. And I don't have anything else that needs it. I've got to figure out where this goes. It's one of these. And that's the German operation order, whatever. I have a move order. Probably want to actually do that. If for some reason I wanted to do it. My move order, I could give it to him, and he can give orders to all kinds of units. There's a possibility of attracting more fire, but I've already attracted fire, so screw it. Filled in this building, pulled everything down to defend these couple of buildings. Is that wise or not? It kind of feels like it's in the way of everything they have. We'll draw a new hand of cards, move the boat, and I am, you know, after doing two orders, essentially, but 1 player turn, 2 orders, an action, etc. I've done so much, I just don't really feel up to continuing right now. I'm comparing this in my head to Coin, which also has very procedural little sets of rules, but it's all on a single card, you know, or a fold out of 4 pages or whatever that each player has to look at. And so they have a few different little actions and whatnot. Here I'm just faced with so many of these procedural flow charts or whatever you want to call it that each card can trigger. It's really rough on me. Anyway, let's see what I can do with the Americans here. I don't see many options. I could try to drop artillery here. That's fairly safe. I have a request, a leader who can direct it. I can give him a move order to this, which is probably a good idea. Try to get him up into play. Of course, he could get shot doing that. You know, I'm worried now, the fire action, that the op fire is only during a move order. And I think I cheated and yeah, I did. I fired in reaction to a fire order because I didn't look this up, right? Like, again, if I don't look up a card, I don't understand how it works every fucking time. I just feel like giving up at this point. I really do. I don't think I can play this effectively because I have to look up too goddamn much all the time. And does this thing help? I really don't think so. It gives me some hints, but those hints are on the cards. It's almost like yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll keep going. See what I can do. Yeah, let's try to drop some artillery. Okay, do I have any actions that are useful? No, I don't. Ooh, I have this guy to move too. I don't know how satchels work though. I don't give a shit. I don't know. Like, that's the whole problem. It's fucking, I don't give a shit about this game. I can't care enough, and I know I'm never gonna hold enough of it in my head to be able to play it. Let's see what my fucking choice of satchel charge does for me. Let's look it up. I know it's gonna be in here, because it's good. 11.6 track display. Track display. It's eliminated after a fire. Okay, so I have to do a fire attack roll. I am assuming I have to be adjacent or in the same hex to use it. So that's not going to be easy. Probably not what I want, but whatever. Yeah. Let's do the artillery request and see what we get. And we'll aim here because I have more chance of it not hitting me. Again, I don't remember how to do this. I gotta look it all up again. I gotta look at the entire process again. This is maybe gonna help me. Fix your broken radio or conduct spotting accuracy impact. Yeah, but I don't know the numbers I need to get for all of this. Spotting is multiply them together and less than the range. Okay, the range is 3. And I get a 16, so I get it. But, oh look, it's sniper time. F2. Like, this is what I hate is nothing. Is I'm just drawing everything. Now the sniper, I ignore that for the sniper draw. So I got a success, and that means I look at these numbers, and I get a 6 and a 6, and a time. Hold on. Well, let's move this because I won't remember shit otherwise. That's where it's going to center. Oh, that's lovely. But now I go through the whole time process again. Oh, fuck. Check these fuckers, see what I have with actions, make sure I don't have any actions that I'm allowed to play. And oh yeah, I have this initiative card that I'll never remember to use. Because it's separate from my hand and just like something weird that like just throws out of my head. All right, now I gotta allocate, I guess the fires against each of these. This is a 10-point fire coming in. This is this wire thing. That hurts me. All right, well, let's see what my bombardments do. Wait, we have something else. We have a building or something. I don't know, building's not listed here. I don't think we can blow up buildings with artillery. It's not a fortification. But wire is. But maybe it's not. Where does it tell me? Oh, I mean, I'm assuming you can't blow up mines. I don't know, maybe. Destroy a fortification. All right, you don't give me the rule that I have to look up that on. Fuck, I got no fucking clue. Follow the index and chase things down. The artillery box on the track display lists a fortification vulnerability number. If it's exactly equal to that, the fortification in the targeted hex is destroyed. What's a fortification? Is a wire a fortification? It doesn't really sound like it. Okay, let's go look that up. But it's, I don't know. Okay, unfortunately that is not defined here, but maybe it's in the index, in the glossary here. No, it's not there. Do we have a definition of what a fortification is? Fortification listings, page 23. Okay, that gives me a page. Fortification listings. Mines, wire, that's all under, well, wait, maybe not. Yeah, I think wire is a fortification. Bunker, foxhole. Okay. Okay. I guess the wire can get blown up by the artillery. Right. Well, we spent a lot of effort looking stuff up to get this one card played, and I still have other things I wanted to do. We have to stop. I decided to shoot this first. We're at an 18 because we hit this. But now we got another sniper check. Just all this fun of like, okay, we got a sniper there. That means I get to break something. Some German thing. Those, I guess, I don't know. As we hit here, where I have a couple of units, I'm going to guess I use the concealment for this orchard to give me another cover in play. Trying to work off this one thing. We got our attack number for this hex. We've beaten up these. Maybe I got it right, maybe I didn't. But I got an event, which is another reinforcements, so I pull another card for that. Oh look, that's like 10. That's a sniper, but I don't know if something from an event can trigger anything. I don't remember. So, time to go look up stuff again. The problem is, in essence, this is a nice, fast-paced game, right? The reality is, no, it's fucking not if you don't have everything absolutely down pat in your head. If you're constantly having to look up things, and I honestly don't think I can hold all these different effects in my, whatever you want to call them, all the different thingies in this fucking game in my head, it's just not going to work. Wow, it's raining hard. I had a buck outside a little while ago. I'm sure he's not now. They don't like to be, little one, but they don't like to be out in this kind of rain. But yeah, at least there was that. But yeah, I'm really beginning to really despise playing this. Problem is I'm nested layers deep in terms of things I have to look up. I have to look up this whole reinforcement thing, but first I have to go look up this sniper thing, and I'm in the midst of an action where I'm continuously drawing more shit and randomizing, more stacks of effects that are just, piling up, and I'm taking them off at the top, and it feels like every fucking one I have to look something up. Although I called this out and was going to see if I destroyed it, I forgot to do so. I don't know what I drew as a number anymore. I assume it's fine, but, it's like, oh, fuck. Just... yeah. I don't know. Figure out where I am. I don't know why I drew this sniper. I drew an event. That was here. This came up. I think the sniper roll came after that, so I'm actually looking up a 10, but first I have to address the sniper because it is a fucking stack. And I looked and I don't see anything. So I look up that sniper, and that one's here. That doesn't kill anything. I've got to put that below this so I can remember what the fuck I'm doing, right? No, I guess, yeah, I have a 10 now. And that puts me over here with another decision of what to bring in. What are these numbers here? I don't know what the fuck the numbers are there. Oh, victory point cost. Yeah. I don't think I get charged that. I hope I don't. So I could bring in this Lieutenant Thomas, I guess. Esperanza actually is... Oh, he was over here. I could bring in a pack howitzer. That sounds interesting. more indirect fire weapon. Oh, what the fuck? Wait, where's that? Oh, that's there. An elite squad. I don't know. I got no idea. Why don't we bring the lieutenant in? Bring this in over here, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I had to decide. I don't care. Rid of this. I'm assuming I had an attack number, and I think I was on this hex. I don't know. It's just so fucking hard to remember anything. Halfway through resolving the attack on this hex, we went through one guy's defensive check. He's not hurt. He's already hurt, but he's not hurt more. But I get another event, thereby generating medic, rally one broken unit. Okay. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't care. And then we go to now we're back at the place we were at the stack. This guy's safe, and now we draw for this guy. And he has a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 defensive value. 17, he's okay too. Luckily, I didn't get a little red-rimmed thing. And I think I am done with this. So that was this guy's order. Whee! You having fun yet? Okay. I have a recover order. Well, didn't I have a move order or something? I thought I had a way to get my guys on. All right, I'm going to recover myself, and we'll make the checks on those. First, the suppression goes away, though. And we have a successful recovery here, but another fucking event, and I got to swap battery. To when I played CC Pacific, I do not remember this amount of nesting of activity and everything. Again, maybe my opponent was, buffering me from all this shit, but it feels really horrendous how much I'm getting. So what do I have? Another event. I don't know what that is. Let's see what this one is. This one's a malfunction. Break the unbroken weapon closest to a random hex. So we draw another card. And we get an N2, which is way up here. I think these are probably there. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Either of those. I'll break this one. It's up to me, and I'm the one doing this, I guess. And I don't remember if my recovery succeeded anymore. The die roll is back here fucking somewhere. It's a 7. I think it did. I don't know. Was it this unit? I don't remember how many units I had to recover. Like, I'm just so lost trying to keep track of this whole stack of effects that's in play. And how it just keeps spawning more stuff on top of it. Conceivably, I could drop another artillery request with this guy, I think, because he hasn't done anything. And he's got a line of sight into that hex. That doesn't look safe. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it, but... And I have completed a player turn, and I'm just, again, so discouraged and disgusted that I need to get away from this. I've avoided coming back up here for about 7 hours. Took myself a little nap, kind of in and out while listening to a video for about 3 hours. But also just fucking around, I think. I don't know. I can't really put a finger on what I did, except I had videos on it and stuff, but I don't know. Played some of my computer game. But here I am at a German turn. I just really am having a hard time finding the will to play this thing. It just so many things against it for me right now. Maybe I'm just not in the mood to game anymore. I don't know. But let's look at the German turn. I got lots of fire actions. And a sustained fire, which might be worth it. So I do have a machine gun there. I have a damaged weapon and a broken unit, but I can't do shit about that. I don't have any moves or anything like that. All I got is shooty, shooty, shooty. I actually have multiple things that I can shoot, so I can activate him and shoot this all together. That won't get me here, but these guys could also fire, and I might as well. That even holds me another fire card in my hand. The problem, of course, is there's a limited number in the deck, but there's no guarantee I'm not going to reshuffle my deck. The US has reshuffled theirs a couple of times. You know, I start to consider this, though. I don't have much to do on the US side. I have some fucking artillery that I can't use. I got a couple of command confusion. This crossfire could be helpful if I had any fire capability. And all I really have is I have an assault fire, which I can't use because I'm not moved. But I do have a route. I could send this guy running. Guess maybe. I guess that's worth trying. Because otherwise he'll get to shoot something. Not much. Generated an inevitable, not stack of things, but a sniper that didn't do anything, but he did end up running. Great. Now we get back to trying to set up my fire groups. Decide what I'm doing. This guys can't fire, but these guys can. Sniper shows up as I'm calculating my firepower. I think I only fired the machine gun into this hex. The intention to finish the unit off with this. The result is H5, so I had to look things up to see if I had to break my own unit. I thought I did, I don't. But again, rules just don't stick in this. It's all, you know, it's all draw a card and look up the rules. That's the fun of the game, right? How much do you enjoy? For me, that is what the game feels like. How much do you enjoy randomly causing a stack of events to happen and then trying to unwind it all via looking up lots of little procedural rules and then following them as best as you can, depending on how willing you are to read all the words each time. It just doesn't stick at all. It's the continuous fun of searching around to see, hey, what leaders are affecting me where, and, you know, shit like that. Just because there's overlapping effects to all the leaders. It's just really becoming just such a fucking bother. Weird sort of like, I don't know, tiny little decisions on like deck integrity or whatever. So I have two of these fire orders. Both have an ambush action. So for me, they do the same thing here. They both have the same event. Die rolls, well, I don't care too much about die rolls, but I do kind of care about the letter for the possible effect of snipers, because they seem to come up a lot. So I'm looking at L or M. I guess I want to throw L in. It's more likely, you know, I get a good effect off of an L. I don't know. It's so minor. It didn't really matter, but I saw that and I'm like, yep, let's bring that up. Yeah, probably not worth, you know, Not worth expending a lot of thought on, but then when you notice, hey, this card is slightly better than another one to be in my deck. I forgot to play this, which would have been useful to me because I was playing a machine gun there, and it would have broken this unit, and it would have been destroyed had I played it on the first play when I fired my machine gun. Planned on doing it, lose track because I get, so tied up in everything else. So I get a couple of cards, I move the boat over, and I enjoy more of this fun. A string of games that really are not any enjoyment for me. I mean, I hit Bloody April over here. I hit that horrible Empires and Alliances, which, at least Bloody April, I know, is a historically accurate depiction, if you can manage the mechanical aspects of it, of the watching paint dry aspect of planes approaching each other to, engage in missions over the World War I front. This one I know has a huge base of people who love the game. There are a fair number of people who don't like it. The problem for me is I do remember enjoying playing it. But again, it was only under the guidance of somebody who knew what was going on. And yes, I felt like I was being buffeted around. I felt like I needed, I felt like I needed to buy it to play it solo to tell whether or not I liked it. And then somehow I had the enjoyment factor in play. So I picked up more and more pieces of the game, more and more boxes of different versions and whatnot. And I wish I had played this earlier. I think I would have avoided what I've bought, because it's really not doing it. It's kind of like with Bloody April. I went and bought Eagle of Lille. I had already in both cases kind of hit the wall on the game and tried reading the rules and just was like, I don't get what the game's about in either case. Didn't feel like I understood the game from reading the rules. That's, if I don't get it by reading the rules, it's probably not a good game for me. Because but then again, I can cope with the coin games, and you kind of don't really get what's going to happen in those games just from reading the rules. You have to start fiddling around with them. I just find that the level of options that I have in coin games tends to be easier to remember and everything. So, I don't know. Anyway. I'm on the U.S. and I'm just, I'm chattering because I want to chatter and don't want to play the game. Anything the U.S. can do, a couple of command confusions, something that doesn't help. 2 artillery requests. I could drop some artillery, but where I could put it does not please me. Anywhere I put it is kind of dangerous to me. I mean, this is the safest hex that I can't see. Yeah, never mind. I could put it here. I could put it over here. I don't know if I snuck one in there when I couldn't get it in there, but anyway. I don't have a line of sight on anything that I want to do. So we're going to throw all our cards because we're allowed to throw up to 5 and draw a new hand. This is all kind of dangerous because the time marker, we don't want to keep advancing it, but I don't have anything I want to do. And the victory points are way in the opponent's favor. I don't feel like I've got any capability to use them. Anyway, let's see what the Germans have. Then we'll peek at the U.S. cards. We have a rout. That doesn't sound bad. We have an advance, which is kind of not what we want to do, but we do have an ambush So we could kind of do an assault into there. I don't know. Depends on what the route does. We have a fire and a sustained fire if we need them. You know, the problem with the route is I kind of want to do the fire and kill this unit. Or this unit, but this one's easier to kill. Like, killing units is so much better than sending them running. But on the other hand, if I can send them running, I don't know, maybe good stuff happens. Yeah, I don't know. Can always do this stuff later. Oh, this is my assault fire. Ooh. I think we're going to open up with our fire. We're going to try to remember to play this. And we look at the US cards to see what they have. Okay, and now I have to look through everything. So like smoke grenades requires that my units be moving. Hand grenades is just for firing. I do have some fire cards. My understanding is I screwed up before. I'm not allowed to use the action fire. And I'm not going to look it up this time. But I'm not allowed to use the action fire unless he's moving. And I think it's got to be move, not assault. Okay, I'm looking it up. Yeah, I don't know where it is. It's under the fire order. Fire attack. Oh, it's not there. It's somewhere else. Is there an action for fire? Here's fire. Here, opportunity fire for action. Only be played during an opponent's move action and just after the... Yeah, so I can't actually play these to weaken the enemy position. I've cheated on that. And I can't even play them on an assault or anything. So I've got a shit ton of cards that I think don't do me any good. The grenades, what grenades required me to fire, I don't have that. Jesus, I have a lot of fire actions. I do have a route. Might as well do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to hurt him. I don't have anything that can hurt him. So we'll route him. Went by without any triggers or anything coming off of it. We killed this guy. He's up there. And we managed a suppression on him, even though he's in his foxholes and everything. Assault is pretty, or advance is pretty easy. So we're going to advance with these. We command him, we bring that with us. And we're going to throw an assault fire into them, which allows me to make a fire attack with any number of units or weapons there that are with boxed firepower. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Did we even want to do this? I don't know. Probably not then. Well, why not? I don't know. All right. We're going to advance into here for melee. This is not movement. Movement is only a move action. So we're able to push in and force a melee. I guess we're both affected by wire here. Wrong, we forgot we had an ambush there. We threw the ambush into our fire. I don't know. I'm doing, because these guys are kind of off on the edge, and the more units I break, the quicker this thing's over. Assault fire says that are currently activated to move with a capital M, which to me means that it would be a move order. But now I'm like, that doesn't seem right. It seems like I should be able to do the assault fire when I do an advance. So, of course, another lookup. Obviously, this guy wouldn't be able to do it. Why am I not able to do it? Actually, I think I'd be able to. And I wouldn't have to make the assault if I do that. So what are we looking at? Assault fire over an A's. I don't know. They keep talking about move with capital. I think I'm not allowed to do it, even though it feels like an advance is where you'd most want to do it. Oh well. Another kill, but now my units are in the wire. Not exactly where I want them, but we'll grab a bunch more cards. We'll move the ship, and we'll say that's good enough for a while. We're wiping out the U.S. units. That's cool. Oh. Oh. Shit, I forgot to take points for these. Okay, so that's 4 more victory points, I think. 2 for each, because I killed 2 more units there. Who knows if I've got it right? Didn't he have a route he was supposed to fly? I don't know. Looks like it's gone. Oh, he had one. Pretty sure he had one too. Pretty sure I must have played it. Maybe it failed or something. Maybe I forgot to draw a card for it. Who knows? Thing. I'm combining who knows with who cares. At this point, it's just like I really don't give a shit what the fuck happens in this game. Fat Lipke was fun when I was cheating and not looking everything up and just devastated the Germans because I misread a rule. But yeah, this is just the stacks of events and triggers and shit like that comes out. It's just too fucking obnoxious. Over here on the US side, I have a shit ton of nothing but fire cards. I could throw a bunch of cards and draw for more, but fire cards let me do something. I might as well concentrate and try to break things up. See what I can do. I think I'll only play 1. It'll give me 2 additional cards, and I'll always have, fire cards as long as I'm holding those. They can react in case the Germans move, but also I just have a reasonable amount of firepower coming in. I might use more than 1, because this guy will be able to fire all of this, but maybe, just maybe, I want to unleash this mortar over there. I don't know what's involved in it. I'm afraid that I'll miss location. So I'd have to look at the rules. So maybe it's not worth it. There is something similar, and maybe I use this because I get confused between the spotting. See, wait, the spotting sends us to a targeting roll. But it's during the artillery itself that I have the 2 dice that's not a die roll. That's the special one, but I look up like sniper or something, and I don't see that it's refused there, so I don't catch that. But this is where it tells you that there are no triggers on it. There's something very similar to that with the ordnance, which is I make that targeting roll, but I don't have the drift afterwards. So I think it's worth me dropping another one of these fucking smoke grenade pieces in order to fire some ordnance at this, because all I did was break 1 unit. Of course, this thing only has a firepower of 7. I think. What's that 2-16 on it? Not too likely to get a hit with this of any value. That's the problem. But one thing that helps is I don't get the hindrance, I think, from it. But still, a 7, I'm actually facing, I got a shot at killing it. I mean, I might as well. All right, well, the first shot generated 2 events, one of which is of importance, which is this is revealed now. And that's this one. So Germans are even more convinced to stay there. I get the lookup because I have to figure out if suppressed affects that leader and prevents him from giving his bonus. Of course, I can make a draw and see if it matters. $12 it doesn't, but we've had like a ton of things happen off of this, attempt to hit this 1 hex, right? And now we get a time trigger. Germans had a dig-in card at the end of that, got themselves another victory point. I mean, they're really not doing badly at all, and they're wiping the Americans out. Of course, there's tons of American reinforcements waiting off map if they ever get the opportunity to move. I wanted to use that dig-in anyway because the card is useless to me, so I put it here. And I guess we're on the German turn. I doubt much is going to happen. Ever recover, that I want to play. I have a route which doesn't do me any good, right? And the US is there. What I'd like is some way to get back out of this wire. I assaulted that, it was useful, but I don't want to be out there. I thought about digging the foxholes there, but I'm thinking I want to leave that hex, so I don't want to prepare some entrenchments for the enemy. By breaking this unit, we managed to play our last card, a route card. To no effect, but whatever. We had an opportunity to break down German units. With that green quality, it means we'd be dropping to a 6 morale, whatever we break. That's okay with the conscripts. The Volksgrenadiers are 7 morale. I don't want to break them down. I guess I could have broken this down, try to do some kind of swap, but I don't really want to. I like the idea of just a team holding the machine guns, although a team's more likely to break, so I don't know. Kind of doesn't matter. For several more hours, it's probably getting close to 7. I don't know. It's still dark out, But the U.S. sitting on 5 fire cards. The only other thing I have is an advance order, which I could conceivably throw myself into a melee here or something along those lines. I don't have a really good connection in command here. Like he's got a 2 hex radius, so I could advance with all of these, but I think it's more valuable to fire with most of them and just try to shoot up and weaken the German position. I may use that advance to bring guys on the board. Unfortunately, I can't get this up into play, and that would be kind of useful, But yeah, I could fire this again if need be. So we'll leave that for next. But first, we've got this, and I've got so many smoke grenades. I'll drop one of them, but let's put one of these back in the deck. Those look useful. Fire action generated a lot of crap, including like randomly suppressing one of these through an event. Some sniper things that didn't happen, but we ended up killing that unit, took the victory points off. I'm not sure if I gave the US the victory points for that guy. But that's the end of that order, and that covered everybody here. I could still fire some artillery there, knock out possibly another unit. I think it's worth it. Cycle cards. I have a bunch of fire cards anyway. Didn't do anything, and I'm a little concerned that maybe I didn't give him his cover here, but I think he still, I think the results, I don't know. It's just too hard. Too hard to keep track of everything. I have one last card, this advance. I'm going to throw this to push guys on the board. I'm not sure I really want to, but in advance, I mean, yes, I could assault that way, but not with any pieces I have, so I'm kind of like, yeah, let's just do that and grab some more cards. And of course, I had to check the Germans multiple times to make sure that they didn't have something that affected things. That's, I mean, that's something you're going to see when you're playing opposed too, but it's okay as sort of the inactive player to be paging through your cards and trying to see. It's more of a pain in a solo game to just constantly be checking who's got what, who can do what. Somebody suggested a sort of solo mechanism that involved like hidden cards and stuff like that being generated. I am kind of doing that. I'm just not worrying too much about it. I feel like I lose track of what I've got so easily that like I almost never, I think I've had to roll the dice once to make a decision where I thought I had too much information. All right, let's see what the Germans can do. A fair number of things. I have a recover and a rout, both of which are useful. The rout might scare some of, I think it's just this unit, this one here. Might scare some units away. The recover might improve my units. I can also sneak an advance or a move into play to get away from this situation I'm in. This is just a leader alone now. Not a good effect there. We did rally him, but neither of these guys. And we didn't scare him away. But we got out of the wire at least. And I used the advance for that because the move can move more spaces conceivably, although maybe the advance is more valuable. That's going to put the boat back over here. And I guess I'll do a little bit more because, you know, I'm like, I really should be getting some sleep. So playing this becomes like the defense against me actually accomplishing what I need to today. Still has no movement capabilities whatsoever, but I have an artillery request, which I can drop somewhere. I have routes, which are very, very powerful, but here's the problem. My leaders aren't really able to see where I want to drop that. I'd want to drop it somewhere over here in the hopes of hitting, you know, in the heart of their stuff. So that's not going to help. The route could send people moving, but unfortunately the people I want run, like the people who would run, I got a chance at killing them, although not that good. There's a lot of leadership around there. So I'm going to open up with fire again. That gets me this whole slice of people involved. And light wounds are kind of useful, maybe, sort of, kind of. I like assault fire a lot. I like smoke grenades. I'll probably throw the light wounds one. The timing on this is a little weird. Place foxholes in a non-building hex into which your opponent just fired. Does that mean I resolve the fire before I can do this? I don't know. Or has he just fired by declaring his fire? I don't know. It seems pretty shitty if, so what is this? This is an action hidden entrenchments. Just before making the defense roll. Okay, so I'm at the right point to do this, and I will give myself some foxholes there. There's enough room on this card to put just before you roll defense. Like, just fired sounds like the whole action should have taken place. I don't know. Effect from that, I ended up getting some suppressions there. These guys no longer have a line of sight anywhere because he escaped. So I guess it's time for the route. I don't know. I gotta check to see now if suppressions affect route. Like, are they still gonna run? I think so. I don't think that it precluded that. But again, it's this continuous, anything I want to do, I gotta check a rule for, because they just do not stick. I had this problem with other procedural games. If you remember when I was doing the Axis Empire stuff, those were very, very procedural rules without as much reason as far as I'm concerned, and I felt like I had to, I could never actually play the game because I'm so busy dealing with the procedural nature of the rules. Unlike that game, I don't feel like this one could be written any other way. This is, you know, this is what the game is. Yeah, there could be some little cheats like improving some of the text on the cards in a few cases, but probably not all of them because the cards are pretty much filled up, you know, in most cases. But yeah, in terms of the actual rules being presented in the rule book, I feel like they kind of have to be done this way. There's no other valid way to do them. It's just the nature of the design of the game. So there's nothing wrong with the rule book. It's just, it's a type of rule book that doesn't work for me because I can't remember shit when I am facing purely procedural rules. So while this guy picks up his suppression, I got this guy to still route. I got an event which is, there's another objective in the game. It'll be secret, so the Germans get a slight advantage off of it. Ooh, number 5 is worth 3 victory points. Number 5 is back here. That's pretty nice. So we'll just log that over with the German victory points and continue on. Next to that, we also got a time event. Move this forward, gave another victory point to the Germans, and the US got itself some foxholes there. I don't see any situation that changed. This guy ran way, way far away. He got a huge roll. Assuming I did it right, whatever. And I'm not so sure this foxhole is all that useful, but then again, I'm also not so sure. I don't really want the card because an artillery request doesn't do me a damn bit of good right now. So that's going to be end of turn there. We go back to the Germans. Don't know what they're going to do. It's a little ugly. They have a move card. I could get all shot up by a move card. They've been throwing a lot of firepower out. So even though I know that they have fire cards, I feel like I'm more willing to chance it at this point. Let me look at what I have here. It's 2, 4, and 5 that are especially special. 2 is here, so I kind of want to hold this. I got my foxholes there. 4 is over here. 5 is way back there. I feel pretty safe with that. Like, burning through cards seems useful. But if I have a fire card, this is helpful. Definitely can play the route. I can play the advance. The advance prevents me from being shot at. But I can't command him to move with him and he can't command anyone. He's out of range. And I'd really like to advance into this space. So if I give these guys the advance, I can connect up a little bit more. But before we do that, I think we try to route the US unit here. Just thought I had a card that allowed me to fire at somebody who had advanced. Like, that's in my head that I had just seen the US draw one of those out of the 3 cards I just threw down. But now I'm not seeing it. Oh, here it is. Okay, place a wire and a hex. Yeah, but that's for the defender. I can't do that. So yeah, we're going to advance to here and to here. And I can actually advance him as well. I'll put him in the building just as a backstop. That doesn't seem too bad. Not going to play the move. So I get 3 more cards, and that's it for now. I'll give another shot at sleeping. I mean, it's not like I haven't slept. I gotta, it's just little bits. And I know, in 4 hours or so is when I want to go shopping. Okay, well, here we are in Hedgerows and hand grenades still. I'm just doing it all in one video. Things have brightened a little bit for the US. I think it brightened a little bit outside too. I've got to go shopping today, but trying to delay it a little bit longer. Yes, the turn track is moving forward, but we got a couple of German dead as well now. And also, the Germans don't have a lot of resilience. Like, their units are not good. They're relying on their defensive bonuses. So we'll see. I mean, I think these scenarios are probably pretty much balanced. Who knows with some of the later stuff and whatnot, but I suspect that these have some chance for everybody winning, as long as you're playing by the rules. So what do I have sitting on me? I have a whole bunch of fires again still, and that's just not changing. I do have a move and an assault fire. Now, the assault fire wasn't very useful for the Germans because they don't have boxed fire values. But the US units do for the most part, which means that I could shoot and advance at the same time. And running off of him, I can get quite a few people moving in that fashion. So that is very appealing to me. I do have an artillery request. I can't shoot and do that, but I can move forward. The other option is I can set these couple guys in motion. I'm having so much trouble finding any movement, and just, keep attritioning the Germans away, because that seems to be kind of working right now. Just me having more cards, having lots of firepower, etc. I do have a route on a good roll. Might even chase him off the board. This guy's got to go too. But I think I would like to do that after I do everything else. So I think I'm going to do that move and fire. I just feel like that's too valuable to me. And if I get other movement cards, maybe I'll bring my reinforcements forward a little bit. That back howitzer is awfully nice. Wow. Oh no, that's a satchel charge. Where's my pack howitzer? I thought I took one. Okay. And I'm going to define it as this whole force here, except for the leader. Leader, of course, can't go. And we'll take a look at what the Germans have and what they can do in response, so I can kind of prepare. I'm not really like trying to decide my U.S. Ooh, I've got a lot of suppressed units. A lot of broken stuff, too. Well, some broken stuff. Yeah, but suppressed units can still move. Like, he would still have 3 movement points, which could get me 1 hex forward. Can't get me into the building, though. Don't know. Anyway, I'm going to be throwing the assault fire right off of it. Kind of lucky on the first fire. I get a time event, so I'm not as broken up as I could be. It could be hitting, you know, in the midst of a check and stuff. It's just such a pain in the ass when, I guess you could use the spotting token or something else to just mark where you are, try to remember. It's so disruptive the way the triggers come in this game. Got interrupted on the first guy trying to take his hit with an event, which was a minefield that shows up over here. Totally useless, but whatever. And then God knows where I'm at. I think generating the fire into this hex, I ended up generating another event, and this was an American hero who just showed up and rallied a broken unit, which is very helpful to me. In the midst of movement, I think the Germans are going to unleash on this. Ah, jeez, it's got foxholes. Fuck it. No, it's not worth it. All right, I'll let them make it in. What does that mean? I'm overpowered if I let him in. That's the problem. Yeah, I got to try to stop him. But he's going to probably be able to rush this with the units no matter what I do. But yeah, fuck. I only have 1 fire action. With that to back it up. With this to back it up. That's a lot. Time event happened, all still in this same move, and then I notice, wait a minute, I've got my fire action here. And I look back and I think I played a fire action, but I think I still have one. But I don't know, because actually, no, this doesn't mean shit. This isn't something I played. But I don't know what else I might have played. Oh, I played the... what the fuck? The crossfire I played, and the grenade I played, which means I failed to play the fire action. So I have 1 more card left. I don't have another fire action. What I was thinking was I had to look up and see if I could do 2 fire actions with the same units. You know, I can't do 2 orders with the same units, but I'm not sure I can't do actions with the same units. I believe I can. In fact, I think there's a special circumstance that allows you that during movement, but I'd have to look up the specifics of it. But anyhow, that's not going to be happening. I did stop some of the units from going forward. I'm trying to see, you know, do I want to launch the attack into here? I really don't want the sergeant going in. This guy, I don't think can make it. 1, 2, 3. Nope. So the question is, do I just want to beat up on this non-com here, or do I want to light these guys up, or what? And I can't decide yet. I said all a hard choice is because I have this route card that's going to send these guys perhaps running, but I think it's more important to get them in there. And we had to pull out of here because these guys got stuck there. These guys only had 1 movement point. They couldn't even give their gun away, but they fell back instead. Oh, actually, they do not have 1 movement point. They have no movement points. Never mind. Let's move him into here then. I'm going to have to break that down into, I guess, line units. Let's see what we got here. This is a regular line. I'm going to break the line unit with the machine gun down into a team, but that loses me another victory point, which I guess. Germans are collecting up a lot of points here. We're able to take this hex, killing the couple of guys who were there. Along with the change in the victory points, the 2 points, which calculates out to 4. Germans had 2, now they lost those 2, and the Americans got that. We're way down to 13 victory points at this point. And a control marker. I don't have the German control markers on the board. They own the whole board, so I don't really need them for this one. That leaves me with very little left. I have a fire action that I can't really use, an artillery request. This guy could not move. I cheated him. I could actually do an artillery request into there, but I don't want to do that. So the last thing I do is my route card. Full of new American cards. The Germans are just going to discard because they got nothing. And that puts us back to the Americans. It looks like I can recover. Great. That's important. I have some injured guys that I want to get back up. But what I don't have is any opportunity to move. Fire cards are pretty common. Move at advanced cards feel like there aren't that many, and that's okay. It's hard to get troops moving, you know. They don't want to. Anyway, I'm going to swap batteries, and I think I'm going to keep going because I want to delay shopping. And partway through my my rallies, one of which failed. I think, actually, at the end of my rallies, I pulled an event, which is an Elan, and that moved the surrender marker yet another one above. Now, given that I've gotten reinforcements and stuff, I think I can actually still be destroyed, but like forced to surrender. But that number's getting way up there. I have a leader up front where I would have liked him to be able to maybe drop some artillery somewhere, but he could have only dropped it here, and that's still kind of dangerous. That means I'm going to be picking a fire action. And with the leader here able to command everything, not this leader, that'll be all I do, is just one fire action, I guess. Let's see what the Germans have in reaction to it. A concealment, that'll help. And that's it. Big and fire all of these guys into there as one shot. It gets me a 13. That still might not be enough to hit people. I would love to kill people, but I really need to get them moving away. And the German, I don't want that. The German fire, or I'm sorry, the fire on the Germans was very effective against this unit. I forgot to throw my fire counter, but I also still have these 3 guys who can fire, well, yeah, who can fire at him. Fortunately, that smoke I dropped there did bad things to my chances of hurting him. So that didn't work. I got my recover. Probably should have played that first. Oops. Doesn't really matter. He added a point, you know, so, but still. Well, who knows? Maybe some reaction could have happened. Maybe something happened. I don't know. But I might as well recover him as well. Back on the German side, I don't think I'm going to do anything quite yet, but I think they're going to be taking a fire action next, and I never remember to play that. I just can't. I can't remember it. You know, was there anything like there was a hit on this guy that affected everybody basically, so that was kind of bad. I should have maybe re-rolled that or something, but you know, by the time I piece out what's going on in the game, I can't figure out I can't remember, oh, I want to use this, just because maybe because I never use it. It's just not in my habit. I need to make more tea. That's why I'm poising this where it is. I don't know. I might push myself out or might finish the scenario. Don't know which. Funny, when my wife was here, she absolutely needed to know, like at least a day in advance when we were going to go shopping. For the most part, it was always on Saturdays every other week. And then like, if something weird was going on or whatever, yeah, we might say, okay, we can skip this week. That would happen every now and then. Sometimes it would be like, I have the day off and that's supposed to be a prettier day, or I didn't go dancing and Saturday's supposed to be nice or whatever. And I would aim for that, but like, it was easier having that scheduled thing, just knowing. And even though we could break the schedule or whatever, I just feel like now I have no schedule and I know I have to go today, but it's also that no one's relying on me to go. It's not something that somebody else needs me to be able to do today as well. It was just, okay, I have to do it, like I have to go to work or whatever. But now I'm like constantly thrown into this problem where I don't really feel like I have to do anything even when I do have to do it. And for me is, I'm also very easily like collected to do something. Like if somebody just called me up and said, you want to go for a walk or something, I almost always will. I don't, like she needed that kind of warning very often for a lot of things. I don't need that. We were alike in a lot of ways, but it's like, assuming she just said, we're really short on food. Can we go today? I'd be like, okay. It would just, again, because it's somebody else motivating me. I can't do it on my own. The defender, because of his low number of cards, doesn't have a lot of opportunity to kind of hoard cards or anything. I don't know how much I do that anyway. I mean, not much. But anyway, I'm looking at this and I'm like, because normally it just feels like, hey, whatever I get, I do that I can do, that's helpful. I do have a fire and I have a marksmanship, which I think will be useful, especially since I have no machine guns left here. That one's busted. I'm in a lot of trouble. What I really want is a rally, but I don't have that. I could throw 3 cards and get 4 back, or use 2 and hope for the best, and I'll do the latter. It's not that easy. My leader has a 0 range. I don't know if that means he could bring these in, but that's really beginning to make things iffy. I think I'll just throw my cards. That way I don't have to look it up. Moves this here. I'm running kind of late. Like, it's getting up on 1 o'clock. So I think I'm going to break. I was thinking, geez, I could finish the scenario, but I could also, like, take a dump before I go. I don't know if I have to. All right, I don't think I do. Do I want to play more? Sure. Interesting things here. I have an ambush and a move. I could just swamp this and take this next hex, but I think I can get it anyway pretty easily, just with the firepower I have assembled right now, and use my move to start shifting some forces up towards the front. I'm a little worried because the time is running out and there's still a big amount of victory points on the German side. But I don't know. Artillery request not useful. But if I get a leader, do I have a leader who has a view? Yeah, but not on anything good. If my hero, he's not a leader. Yeah, I think we'll start with fire and then try to break this. Might be able to just do it. It's pretty weak right now. And thus I will look at what the Germans have. They have a light wounds to help protect themselves. They have a concealment to help protect themselves. Unfortunately, this is on their fire, but I'm probably going to need to use it before any U.S. troops move. I planned on firing first. Launched it in 2 fire groups. We got a bunch of suppressions. I mean, I guess it's okay, but it's not what we were hoping for. I still have a leader here. I can't see shit that I want to drop artillery on, so I guess it's the move. People mentioned in the Fat Lipka, I didn't calculate the movement with the leadership bonus in there. And yeah, I realize that. I used the road bonus, which I'm going to use now, but I also have a leadership bonus. So this thing actually has a movement of 7, as does this. Now, I don't need that much movement, but you know what it gets me? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can get to there and here. Avoid that wire. Kind of like having the leader on top of things, but I want him to command everybody. He could fire. If I'm going to throw my cards, I might as well. Oh, I got a 1 fire. Yeah, I got a 0 fire. I mean, there's some chance. I can add up to a 2. I mean, there's some chance. I get a 9 with an event. That's, I think, guaranteed not to hit. This guy's got a 9 already, but I got to do the event first. Place wire in a random hex. Oh boy. D7. So there's going to be some random wire that just crops up there. Now it's really weird because I've moved through that and everything. And now it's like an impassable, you know, difficult to move through hex. I had no problem before. That bugs me. I really don't want the move card. So we'll pull a new hand. So got smoke there too. Yeah, it was actually a negative. Great. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. I was going to discard my hand anyway. I don't know. I think I got a break here. About 8 p.m. on Monday. I managed to get outside and do my shopping. I know, it's not that important, but I feel like I have to give my little updates on life too. Things are complicated there. So my cart, the wheels on it really needed replacing. And I tried putting these big metal wheels. They're actually about the same size in terms of the diameter, but unfortunately they're a little too thick at the hub and I can't get the caps on that. So I had to go with the beat up old cart wheels that I have, and I'm always worried that it's gonna fall apart. I thought those metal wheels would be fine because they were the right size. It did make it back and everything, but I think I really need to order more wheels before I go shopping again with the cart. Although I went with a light load, so that may be part of it. Anyway, we're here. I'm obviously fatigued because shopping and, well, I mean, it's a lot later now, so I've been fucking around on the computer since then. Didn't nap or anything yet. And we're on the US. Let's take a look at what we got here. I'm not going to worry about the Germans yet. We have garbage, but a sustained fire, which can be useful, and a crossfire, which maybe. We have a route, which could send everybody back. That sounds really appealing. But here's the thing, maybe we want to shoot these guys up even more because we can kill them. I have a fire. I have some garbage. Kind of like to discard my garbage, but let's open up with the fire group because my leader is back here, this sergeant. He can command all of this. Still don't have any movement or anything. And then my route might send a bunch of these back. Have anything that can help them on response. Quite the effect we would like, even with the, I don't know what it is. Sustained fire from the machine gun over here, which didn't break it at least. We killed one of these units. We did dipshit against this, but some random foxholes showed up, which is interesting. Those make more sense. They were like shell holes. Like, I'm okay with like not being able to be aware that there were foxholes somewhere, even if they, you know, just sort of randomly show up. I'm a lot more weirded out by a random wire showing up where I've moved through. Like foxholes, they could have been hidden or whatever. They're something that's useful. They're not something that just blocks the whole hex. This wire just blocked the whole hex. But that leaves me with very, very little that we can do of value, except, I guess, the route. All we've got is this sergeant up here. If we had some way of marching on him, it would be great. Over to the German side. Let's move the boat. Didn't get any terrible rolls, as far as I'm concerned. Got a really good roll on him, but he didn't even need it. We have a fire action. I feel like we want to do the recovery order. These artillery requests we can't do. Do we want to fire? I mean, it's almost nothing, but it gets rid of a card that I don't like, so maybe. But we're not gonna succeed in hitting anything. It's just getting rid of the card. Something kind of cool. We got an event, Fog of War. Each player places one card at random from his hand into his discard pile. I mean, worst comes to worst, I get rid of this crappy fire thing. Plus, I get rid of one of the U.S. cards. Got too well for the Germans. They lost the card they could have gotten rid of anyway. And the U.S. got rid of a command confusion, which those are hard to get rid of. And we sail the boat over here. And the U.S. has a bunch of firing cards. And they're all ambush on the action, which would be really useful if I had an advance or something. I could kill this guy off. We're getting close to causing the Germans to surrender. I forgot to try to recover this guy. I'll run back and do that. First, I forgot to rout him. So we should do that first because he's likely to run. Yeah, he's gone. That's another, just one victory point, but it's another space on here, which is a big deal. All right, so the U.S. fired this group. I could actually activate this or this. He actually could fire. So I could activate these guys to fire into there. That would get rid of another one of my fire cards, which I think is a good thing because I'm just trying to recycle cards, just like the Germans were. I have very little chance of hitting this. I tried to put more force on him, but I didn't get anything. You get to do almost nothing in this scenario. Because of the defenders, they don't have many cards. and I got a pile of shit here. These are useless. These actions might be useful, but I couldn't really use them in any of the effects I have. I have foxholes already here. I'm not allowed to build them in a building. Don't really help anyway. So we throw our hand away. One thing that this does is it's killing deck and making it more and more likely that we'll advance the time, because this is what it comes down to in a lot of ways, is right now the victory point totals is still strongly in favor of the Germans. Now, we don't know what these are, right? But we do know what these guys are. This hex, though, is a big deal. That's another 6 victory points coming down. But it feels most likely that we're going to wreck the Germans by making them surrender. Whereas the Germans have a chance of the sudden death ending the game with them still in the lead. It's actually running to be a pretty close one. Unlike when I wasn't playing by the rules at all. Promising US cards. I do have a fire, but it's also, well, I have a couple of them, but they're also ambushes. But more importantly, I have an advance. It probably means I can take this hex. Maybe this one as well. Not that that one's that important, but I can. And I also have a move, which would allow me to order this group forward. Oh, very nice. I kind of know what I'm doing with the US, so we look at the German cards, and they have fire actions. They also have ambushes, so I want to use this one. I have a spray fire, that's not going to help. Okay. Now the Germans have an interesting option here. If I move a US unit forward into here, I could fire immediately. But I could hold my fire and prevent this unit from coming in, or make it less attractive. And that's kind of what I'm going to do. Roll a die, because I don't think it's likely that the Germans have fire. I'm going in, and now they're going to open up. I have a question if I want to, but I think I do. Just to get rid of the card more than anything else. I'm not going to be able to hit anything. That's the problem. I'm going to generate a couple of melees, but there's all kind of exciting stuff happening in these melees. Notably, Germans have 2 ambushes. The US has 2 ambushes. And unfortunately for our Germans, 2 more units got me to the surrender flag. So it is over. It was, it was just a matter of, could I get lucky and generate a couple of time events and then, the sudden death roll or whatever happened. These guys didn't get a chance to move. They would have gotten to. But, yeah. So that's our hedgerows and hand grenades scenario. I have not finished the rules to the game I'm planning on next. I got to debate, do I want to do another one of these? Do I want to pull out like a DG game and try to run it in there because I'm doing something? The next thing I'm doing is, I have to read a fairly significant amount of rules for. Part of me says just keep going with these because, despite what I said about not getting used to it, I am kind of. And I feel like if I can play it a little bit more and get used to it a little bit more, I can at least say that, yeah, I could see playing this. Like, the real problem is it was a fair hurdle to get through a couple of games of this, flipping through the rules, looking. it still happens. There's still certain things like the time event that I have to dig through every time to get the sequence ready and everything. But I feel like I'm getting a better grip on the game after, about halfway through this one. So about 1.5 of these scenarios. And Fat Lipke, I just completely screwed up. So, that went way faster than it should have. It's still not something I really want to play solo, but I'm beginning to feel like I'm getting a grip on playing it. I don't know. Anyway, let's send this one up. Just wanted to catch the nice moon before I say bye-bye.